in the community as a concept started, I suppose, when Iris began. It's always been intrinsically important for us to work with communities around Wales and share authentic stories of LGBTQ+ experiences, especially Welsh LGBTQ+ experiences, and really put them on the map. So this project in particular began in 2021, where we set out to make stories with 10 community groups from across Wales. And we're delighted that we've worked with over 13 groups to make 9 films that have now all been released. These films have been seen by over 9,000 people, and that is growing all the time. So here we go, let's take a look behind the scenes at Iris in the community.
Can't quite believe that we're here today, and it's real and it's happening.
Scene 2, slate 7, take 1.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to take a moment to offer you a special welcome. Welcome home. Whether you've been here twice or 200 times, we are so glad to see you.
Originally, we came into it for a workshop, and I spoke to all the people that were potentially looking at projects, and they had initial seeds of ideas. They were all bright-eyed and excited to get going on their films, but it can be quite intimidating starting a process like this. But they all seemed really enthusiastic. They had certain ideas, and we discussed them, and it's been like a really good process to see how those gems of ideas have become real scripts, and now we're literally shooting them, and it's really exciting to see that, especially when it comes to people that have never made films before. And people from the community. Is a good opportunity for them to experience this and see if it's something for them, or if they want to continue filmmaking going forward, or if this is just a one-off and a story that they're passionate, that they will really want to tell.
So, as you can imagine, on set there's a lot of moving parts. There's a schedule to battle against. So what we do is take them through a big walkthrough the day before. We'll show them the different light setups and different camera angles that we'll be doing on the actual day of production. So when it comes to the main day itself, everyone's very familiar with the process, and then we'll find ample opportunities for people to operate the different types of equipment, whether that be sound or camera. And I generally always talk through my process as we go along.
I've learned some new skills. I now know how to record on a camera, which I surprisingly couldn't figure out beforehand. So yeah, I think that I definitely have a lot more respect for people that work on sort of films and things like that, because I'm used to theatre and you're on and off and it's done, but this takes a lot longer to perfect.
I learned this talents from all different roles in this movie. As producer, I figure out I really need them to help me. It's not one person's film, it's everyone's.
That is when I decided to petition the Welsh Government for reversing Section 58 of the Children Act 2004, banning physical punishment. That kid needed a smack, all right? Kidding. I'm really not.
I'm used to, writing films, theatre. So writing a documentary where we've had to get facts and figures and learn more about people's real stories, I think it's definitely, aided me in my experience and definitely makes me want to make more documentaries, because I think it's really important to tell real stories and spread all those facts and love about people. So yeah, I think definitely it's helped improve my skills and improve my confidence as well behind as an interviewer as opposed to just a director.
So I'm not an actor, so it's been a bit nerve-wracking, but I think it's always good to do things outside your comfort zone. I never imagined when I became a nurse the kind of other things that would come alongside that and the other opportunities I would have been given. And this is like an amazing opportunity to sort of represent my community, represent palliative care nurses, represent the kind of work that we sort of do and did at the Cancer Centre.
Action!
You okay?
I'm okay. Just a bit nervous.
It's okay to be nervous, love. It's your wedding day after all.
I could never have imagined anything like this.
What, getting married?
Getting married to her. A girl.
I think it's been going to sort of be a kind of, for lack of a better term, fly on the wall during like a lot of the interviews and all of that. Going to like sort of shadow the camera and just watch everyone answer these questions and being very honest and earnest. And I don't know, it's very insightful. It's a privilege to get to actually be there and hear it all.
We think it's really important to arm people with the skills to tell stories as well in the most effective and brilliant way possible. So hopefully all the people that we've worked with who've learned loads of skills from writing to editing, being behind the camera and being in front of the camera can take those skills and continue to tell their authentic story.
I think the impact on other communities in Wales will be quite massive. I think the good thing about Iris Outreach, it literally tries to look at the whole of Wales rather than just specifically Cardiff. I think because they're telling such unique stories, it will have a wider impact in those local communities. So maybe sometimes because the films are obviously accessible online, and that is really important for people who may be struggling or don't have communities around them in some more of the rural areas. And I think it's really important to have that accessibility and really tell those wider stories in Wales.
Married.
Day one.
Pansexual.
It's good to have sort of be normalising sort of LGBTQ plus voices. I think we don't often hear those kind of stories.
Yn wych. A ddo, neud I ddim anghofio pa mor wych oedd popeth.
Na I ddim anghofio.
Bydde ti di wneud rhywbeth yn wahanol?
Fydden ni di newid dim.
I hope the audience will feel like, oh my God, I thought they're different with us, but they're same. They're one of us. Yeah. So I feel it's some feelings are hard to tell by language or sentence or give a speech, but in the movie, it's visual things. It's very easier to relate it to that person in that film.
If you talk about it, it's not a taboo subject. It's only when people think something's taboo that it becomes a subject that you don't want to talk about, where LGBTQ plus now is talked about, is celebrated. Everybody celebrates it. And I think it's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Because it's allowing people to be their true selves.
I think by sharing our story, the opportunity for community groups to embrace the LGBTQ plus community will be enhanced.
I thought it was a good idea.
It was,
It's a
wasn't
really
it?
good idea.
Without them, we wouldn't be here today. Definitely not.
Yeah.
I think because
There-
of
there
how I
was
was brought
hesitance.
up.
Yeah.
But fair enough, I said I wouldn't do anything, and we take it step by step. So I think it was about the third concert before I actually snooped in.
But that's fair. That's fair enough. You know, if I want to go to church on a Sunday and dance on a podium in Las Vegas wearing a thong, it's my business.
I'd like to think that when people watch this film, they'll get a fuller understanding about what our organisation does and perhaps think, oh, hey, we could make something like that. So we'd like to tell people what we do too. Yeah, like, yeah, I think it will definitely encourage more people to want to make films.
I think sharing stories is one of the most important things we can do, whatever community you're part of, to get your community more exposure, more attention, more acceptance. And I think that's one of the wonderful things that Iris does. It manages to share lots of different stories and make things more acceptable, more normal, and just, make sure that people understand why they need to be kind to people.
So at Musical Mates, we'll put a track on and we'll give the guys each an instrument and we'll get them to sort of play along to an instrument and kind of let them feel the music. I think it's nice for them on an emotional level, especially with some of the guys that are non-verbal. They can really feel the music and we see the emotions coming out slightly differently.
Communities benefit from mixing, from getting to understand each other. And I think the LGBTQ plus community has a lot to offer. You know, we've all gone through difficult phases in our lives. We all watch the news with trepidation, wondering what's going to happen next. And those sort of experiences can help you to understand difficulties other people go through in other ways. You know, there's a lot of intersectionality in the LGBTQ plus community. There are people who are gay with disabilities, there are people who are bi with neurodevelopmental differences, there are people with all sorts of things. So we have a lot to offer.
By telling everyone about our journey and our Pride event and everything like that, we will hopefully achieve a greater understanding for the LGBTQ plus community, and hopefully we can encourage more people to be proud of who they are.
Being part of this film is really important to me. I'm the parent of a trans man. Now, you may be 27, so not even thinking about menopause at the moment. Where's he going to go for information? I've been involved in menopause work, like I said, since 2018. But where's his voice? Where's his experience? I don't see it.
Is there anything that you would like to share with those watching about your experience and looking at the other side of menopause?
Just that it gets better, I think.
But it's not just our own experiences and advocating for ourselves that is important. We want all healthcare providers to think more inclusively about menopause.
It's important to tell the story and make this film so that we have a legacy that we can pass on to young people who aspire to learn more.
I think it's really important to make this film to represent not only the young people of Ceredigion, but also the older, generation of people that have had to go through all these troubles being LGBT in such a rural place where there isn't as many, services or clubs or just general places to go. So I think it's really important to represent our side of Wales because there isn't that much representation.
Other people who think like them, who understand what it's like to have comments that are made to you and just to be there for each other, really.
Yeah, it's like we don't want this lot to have to go through what we went through, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
The reason we have this LGBTQ story is because we all like new things. We like creative, like comedy. We want to listen other people's experience.
For me, it's about representation. Often when we see training videos, when we see stories around cancer care, it's very much from a heteronormative viewpoint. And so for me, I wanted to share a story of same-sex love, of the situations that we have on a day-to-day basis in hospitals and how we can provide compassionate care to our patients and to their family members.
It brings about awareness and it shows it in a more positive light. And if you produce a film, it opens it up to a wider community, and especially considering different generations don't really understand the LGBTQ community. It's more accessible.
Community groups have worked on telling their stories, and really galvanising their communities into being that audience at the beginning of their journey. I Shall Be Whiter Than Snow was the first film we shared, and that was at Iris Prize opening night in 2022. It then went on to Iris on the Move, where it was shown around the UK, and was selected for Rose Filmdagen in the Netherlands, where it was the runner-up in the Audience Award. Iris on the Move also played host to the premiere of Battling an Ocean in 2024, and we were thrilled to share Ambith at Cowbridge Pride last year at a bespoke film festival for the community. So it's been amazing to get out there with the films on the road and see what the reaction's been like in different places in Wales as well.
Do you like that?
I think, you know, what we've shown here in this film and what Georgia has put together in their writing of it is that it's to be celebrated. To be gay and in a loving relationship is something that we celebrate.
We've shared 3 premieres at Chapter Arts Centre in Cardiff, which is a partner venue of Iris Prize, playing to sold-out audiences for Fruits of the Spirit, Calling the Kettle Brown and Rainbow Menopause. And we've loved getting really stuck into communities and screening in places like St Andrew's Church in Cardiff for Theatre Cafe, Connors Quay Labour Club with Rainbow Business creating a sense of belonging, and the Wellbeing Hub in Wrexham to share sexual graffiti with local audiences.
There is a thing about sticks and stones. You've all heard the saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Some names have a little bit of a sting to them, and this was our antidote to a sting.
We're about to head into Pride Month 2024, where Ambith will also be on S4C Click and BBC iPlayer for even more people to see. You can watch some of the films on our Iris Prize website, and others are still on their journeys through the festival network and playing at private screenings. But if you'd like to see any of them, please do get in touch.
When people see that it is a really important thing that you believe in, they will come around. You know, it's about having the human connections with people.
We are so grateful that the story of The Gathering is going to hit a wider audience because of the love and support of Iris. And this is what Iris does for the queer community in Wales all the time, and we're grateful that you chose us.
I love Iris, I love everything they do, and to be part of their history now going forward is just wonderful.